Alright, folks, I talk a lot of political shit and you ain't seeming to pay any attention to it. So I'm going to try to do something more educational for you tonight. And especially for my comrades, my local comrades here who have suffered from the inept and corrupt judicial. I'm not going to say they're all corrupt, but a lot are inept, and a lot, especially of the state attorneys, the public defenders, all they really know how to tell you is to plead guilty. So let's get started here. Alright. When you're arrested, the officer must write up a complaint right when he arrests you. And if it's a felony, you must have a preliminary hearing within 10 days to see if there's enough evidence for the case to move forward. Now, your discovery, it's called, and what discovery is the evidence which the state has compiled against you. Statements from witnesses, things of that nature. But what I will say, a statement is not worth the paper it's written on unless the witness is credible and mentally fit to be cross-examined in the court of law. So, your Sixth Amendment right guarantees you the freedom to defend yourself if you wish. And the thing about it like this, if you don't have the money to really pay a lawyer, and you have to depend on I'm not going to say the state, because they could come after me for that. So I'll just put it as simply as this: if you don't have the money to get you a good lawyer, you just may be fucked. So, alright. This previous trial in McDowell County, I've represented myself and won, but it's important to note that I'm no lawyer. I'm not even a jailhouse lawyer. But I will say, from experience, from people there, lack of interest, he won't even look in your discovery. He would just advise you to plead guilty, as if most state lawyers will, because you must realize that a state lawyer and a state prosecutor are they are branches of the same tree. They work for the same people, and it is in the state's best interest always to strike a plea bargain. But I would urge anybody that got themselves in trouble to, if you don't feel your attorney's up to par, I suggest you invoke your Sixth Amendment right and ask for your discovery. Now, this is discovery. In your discovery, they will have all the charges that they put against you, such here in my case, obstructing any person who by threats, menaces, acts, or otherwise forcibly or illegally hinders or obstructs or attempts to hinder or obstruct law enforcement officer or parole officer, etc., in acting out his or her official capacity. Okay, we've got obstruction again. Okay, I was once charged with assault on a police officer. Now, realize the difference between assault and battery. Okay, now here is the state's definition of assault. This is assault on a police officer. Okay, did unlawfully attempt to commit a violent injury to the person of a police officer, probation officer, conservation officer, etc. And it just goes on about any kind of state official, assaulting any kind of state official. But the important note you need to make is that this last little piece here, okay, to get to the gist of this, who attempts or has the intent to commit a violent act. Okay, now, if you're arrested for opening your mouth or saying something, a lot of times a police officer will throw an assault charge on you. And if you don't know this, you will plead guilty to them. Now, the definition of assault is if you intend or threaten to commit a violent action on a state official. It's important to note, it's not, assault is not opening your mouth or saying something unless you threaten them with violence. But that isn't the case most of the time. So that's obstructing. That is the state's definition of assault on a police officer. Assault in general. I've got two charges of assault on a police officer. I'm not going to read both of them. Okay, now we have a definition here that you're entitled to, that the state must present you within 10 days. Charge 5 would be destruction of property. Did take and carry away and destroy, injure and deface personal property, not of his own, in violation of West Virginia Code, the West Virginia Penal Code. Okay, now after your definitions in your discovery packet, they will present to you what evidence they have to convict you. Now, in my case here, they have a statement, which, as I said a few minutes ago, is not worth the paper it's written on. It was given by a man named Donald Coger, who is not mentally fit, far from mentally fit to face cross-examination in a court of law. So to get to the point right quick, as I said before, his statement is, do not be scared into pleading guilty from a statement unless the person giving that statement is mentally and unless he can stand up and face cross-examination. That's your defense attorney or you. Unless he's ready to face cross-examination, a lot of times they won't even show up. So, now, to get to the gist of it,